Powered by the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, we are the champions of change, advocating for diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility in the world of corporate and government contracting. It's not just a show, it's a movement. So get ready for another dynamic journey as we wake up the world to a new era of opportunities and empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, President Larry Ives. Larry Ives. Larry Ives.
Welcome to the Wake Up Show. It's your boy, Larry. No, I'm sorry. He would never say that. Welcome to the Wake Up Show, Chicago. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I know that the promo says that, or the intro says Larry Ivory, but he is out today because he had to attend a funeral. And I'll talk more about that. But those of you that are listening, we want to let you know that the Wake Up Show comes on each and every week at 9 a.m. And when we come on WVON, we are powered by the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, and we are sponsored by the Wind Creek Chicago Southland in Homewood. So we welcome you. Also, if you're on Facebook, please share the show. Always share the show so that the information that we're putting down can actually be picked up by more than just yourself watching and listening and engaging, but more people can also be involved as well. Today, we have a very good show for you. As always, I love it when Larry tells me, hey, well, this is what we're going to talk about. As you know, this weekend we are celebrating the legacy of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And on this particular episode, we want to incorporate that. But before I get to even that part of this, we have a special guest that's coming on with us, Dr. Ericka Blakely. And she just tried to call me. So I'm going to take the time to just send her an invitation link and she can get on video. You'll be able to see her in just a few minutes. But before we stall to do that, because as you know, we have to give her the link, still talk about what we're talking about. I want to introduce my co-host today, which is the infamous actor, producer, writer, um, human rights activist, and or consultant, and human trafficking consultant. Because he said, "Get it right." He said, "I switch it up every week." Mr.
I don't know if
Lorenzo
I
T.
quite said that,
Hughes.
but good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Wake Up Show.
Absolutely. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you think? I know in our title of the show, we talked about if King were alive, what would his legacy, how would it transpire to today in 2026?
You know, it would be very interesting because of the way technology is being utilized. I would love to see how he would be utilizing technology to move his message along and to spread his message. But I think his goals would still be the same because uh, when you look at it, our situation overall, we're kind of in the same position and we're still preaching the same message. I think we have to look at a different type of methodology moving forward and what it is that we need to do and where we would find success in that movement. It's difficult to say because even today you have to wonder who did they pass the baton on to? Who is the modern day Martin Luther King? Who is the modern day Fred Hamptons and Malcolm X? Who did the baton get passed on to? If he was still alive today, he would still, yeah, definitely he would be, up there in age. But who would he have to pass the baton on to? I would hope that he would have mentored someone
Mm.
into carrying that baton. It seems like, unfortunately, the people that were with him, that was in his circle. I know Jesse Jackson. He did carry that baton to a degree. I would wonder who those mentors would have been to carry that baton.
hmm and speaking of batons, that definitely apples don't fall far from the tree.
Mm.
Larry sent me the information on the funeral that he's attending, and it's important that I mention this. It's one of our members lost his mother, and her name is Dr. Bonnie Marie Smith. Notice I said Dr. Bonnie Marie Smith. And this is um, from Brent. And our hearts go out to him and his family
Yes.
as they attend today's funeral. So when it comes to legacy, I'm so glad that we have our guest on the line. Let me go ahead and bring her into the fold. Um, I think about how much legacy is not in our community.
Hmm.
Like the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce has 12 standing committees. And what that means is that those are 12 standing programs that we have committee heads, co-chairs, chairs that run those committees. So they're like small businesses. They're like a branch and arm of the chamber itself.
Yeah.
Dr. King also ran programs. He had a team of people. I know you and I had a conversation about even in filmmaking
Mm.
how the credits on the screen show that every single person that was
Mm.
involved to make what you just watched
Absolutely.
happen. But so many times in our community and culture, we end up doing things by ourselves, both elected by
Hmm.
ourselves or
Hmm.
by ourselves by all means. So when you think about all the programs that we have in the chamber,
Right.
we're talking IT, banking and finance, construction, healthcare, media, youth and entrepreneurship, international, sports and entertainment, retail, membership, procurement and policy, and marketing. Those are our 12 standing committees that people can become a part of. Today, I want to definitely hyper focus on banking and finance and the finance piece because of our guests that we have coming on to the show. Um, what is the, out of all of those committees? I know
Hmm.
you've been part of, which ones are you part of? You've been part
I
of quite
chose
a
the
few.
entertainment
Yeah.
committee because that's where I felt like I could be most effective.
Mm-hmm. In what way?
Because of my background in entertainment and in media, I felt like that you know I would be able to contribute more in the creative process because I would like to believe that I have that creative mind. So that whenever there was a an initiative within that area, I would be able to come up with ways to implement that initiative.
Well, joining us today is Dr. Ericka Blakely. Let me get her in here. Oh, there she is. Got it already done. Here we go. Dr. Ericka Blakely, a trusted voice on financial empowerment and economic strategy. Dr. Blakely holds a doctorate in a financial discipline and has consistently helped individuals and businesses think differently about money ownership and long term sustainability. Welcome back to the show, Dr. Ericka Blakely. You're also a member of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, and I want to welcome people to give a call to ask you questions because our phone number is 773-591-1690, and we can certainly use your help today.
Well, thank you for having me back. I'm excited. We always have a great time and looking forward to 2026 as we try to continue to help Black people.
Mm.
And happy to be a member of the Chamber and forever will be.
Yeah, hey, when you said help Black people, we need a lot of help.
Baby, listen.
Lots and lots of help. And I
Yes,
see the
we
phone line
do.
starting to buzz here, 773-591-1690. So tell us a little bit about your fight in this ring for Black people in 2026. I started saying get in the mix with 2026, but
I
tell us
love it.
about your fight in this.
For me, I think we continue, and you and I, we always talk about um, access to knowledge, access to equal opportunity, um, access to all of the things we need, or making that happen. Uh, and I feel like there are so many times we have the access, we don't utilize it.
Mm,
We have the information, we don't take advantage of it. And a lot of it is systemic. Holes on our brain of what we've seen, and we need to kind of get out of that. So the Illinois State Black Chamber does a great job of really providing that access, We just need more people to take advantage of the things that we have for them.
And speaking of take advantage, what is the Black Zenith Hub?
Black Zenith Hub is a one stop resource for all things Black business. We do give you all of the training you need. We bring those resources to you in one place. We have partnered with the Illinois State Black Chamber to bring a one-stop access to a CPA. We've partnered with Your Select CPA and Black Zenith, created a program for less than what you would pay for one-time tax preparation. You get support all year. You get training all year. You get free tax preparation. You get accounting. You get knowledge. You get all of the things that you need based on this relationship that we've created with the chamber.
Hmm. Well, that sounds like some useful information, not just overall, but tax season is upon us. It's
It
time to
is.
get those W-2s, 1099s, all of your finances. And I'm one of those people that I talk to many different business owners, and
Mhm.
they always
You're a
talk
business
about,
owner yourself.
I am a business owner myself. And many people talk about how, oh, I can just write this off. I can include this in my business expenses.
Mhm.
But I watch as they electronically make these transactions happen. And all I think about is by the end of the year, how do you keep up with all of that if it's all in the cloud? Okay. And I'm saying cloud because
Yeah,
as a business owner, I'd struggle with that every year. When it was paper, it was so much easier for
yeah,
me. I could
yeah.
see it, I can file it away. It's in January. I had folders for every month of the year. Now I
Hmm.
have to have digital folders for every month of the year, and things don't always make it to those folders.
Mhm.
Understood. And you are absolutely right. Um, Technology has made it easier for us, but also harder. You don't have to have it for every month of the year, number one. But what you do need is the support. And that's what we want to give you because let's just think about, let's say you are a business that makes a product. And in March and April, and you're not keeping track of your finances. You don't know what's going on in your business. But in March or April, things just seem to get a little bit more challenging for you. You're like, what's going on? Well, what's going on is you don't know.
Mhm.
But
That's
if you
right.
had some
Right.
support throughout the year, you'd be able to pivot in March, whether it's a different supplier, something is happening that you just don't know what you don't know. But if you imagine if you can pivot in March, that would give you a 20% increase for the rest of the year because you knew what was going on and you knew what was changing in your business. So that's part of what we want to make sure happen is that's that access. But when you're talking about technology, you don't need one for every year. You do need a digital folder for every year, not every month. I'm sorry. You
Mhm.
don't need it for every month. You need one for the year and download your bank statements, download your credit card statements. But if you had the support you needed, all of that stuff will be pulled into your accounting program anyway,
Mhm.
because what you should be doing is at least using one or two sources of that, right?
What
And
well,
then
keyword should be,
should be.
right?
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
do you think that we've fallen into the trap of no having an invoice system but not an accounting system? They are two different
Mm.
things.
Most people don't even have an invoice system. Most people don't. You wouldn't imagine how many people don't keep their receipts.
Mhm.
I remember back in the day, I had truck drivers bring, black garbage bags full of receipts. And I'm like, oh, I'm talking about 25 years ago, because that's
Yeah.
all they do. They get their receipts and they throw them in a bag. So now you get your receipts and you put them somewhere digitally, or at least you should. And then the paper receipts that you get, all of that stuff should be scanned because it's going to end up, the ink is going to fade. We're
It
not going to know
fades.
what
That's
it
new
does.
stuff. They started that I feel like in the early
Yeah,
2000s.
I just
Yeah.
recently photographed a
Yeah.
bunch of receipts
Oh my
because
gosh,
that's been
that fading.
filed away.
Lorenzo, you don't have receipts, do you?
I photographed mine.
Okay.
You
I
sound
was
like an
that
old
no,
man
no,
talking about
Get a
photograph.
kick
because
out of 'em.
they do fade and they'll sit in your pocket, in your wallet,
Uh-huh.
things like that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
usually when I get it, I just go ahead with my phone, photograph it, and I started filing it away. And I do that because, as you mentioned, like I said, even with my business back in the early 2000s, I was scanning a lot of documents, and it's like I had a
Mhm.
lot of documents
But you
that
had to because of HIPAA. Tell us
yeah,
about your
because of
practice
that.
real quick.
Well, I had a practice that I called the myotherapy clinic, where I specialized in clinical and orthopedic massage, manual, and exercise
Mm.
therapy. So there was a lot of documents that I had to have documented, and at the same time, I was modeling and acting, so I had to start keeping track of meetings
Mhm.
that I was going to,
Mhm.
travel, and
So
I
you
would
had
get
multiple
random calls. So
streams.
yeah, I had notebooks and
Mm.
ledgers that I would write things down, because
Yeah.
if I didn't write them down, I would they would be stored back in that,
Yeah.
well, in my memory, which you tend to forget
Yeah.
over time until tax
Now you're
period.
typing your clinical
You need
notes
this.
after a meeting,
Right,
after
right. And then afterwards, then you got to go I'm putting this stuff in a ledger or something like that. But yeah,
Ooh,
it
this
was a
sounds
lot.
amazing. Well, I tell you what, we do have a caller, and I want to remind everyone that you can give us a call at 773-591-1690. I want to know, when we started off, what what is it about Dr. King's legacy that
Mhm.
we can use in 2026 in order to move forward in our community or business culture today? All right. I
Well,
don't think
Donna,
what
wanna
he said.
we got somebody in the comments that wants to join the chamber, so let's make
Well,
sure we get
actually,
that
hold on.
information
Yeah,
to them too.
absolutely. So actually, she's on the phone. So I was rolling into
Oh,
her.
okay.
So yeah. So if you are interested in joining the chamber, which I know you are, and I'm going to tell you why you should. The Illinois State Black Chamber has been around since 1997. I want to stress that it is called the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. There are many different chambers out there, but ours is unique to our founder and CEO and chairman of the board of the National Black Chamber of Commerce, Mr. or should I say, and should I say it every week, but it's Dr. Larry Ivory. He has been instrumental in accessing procurement contracts, the state contracts, having preparing the members for what it is that they need in order to qualify and apply. I love it. Qualify
I
and
love it.
apply. And because of that, with Lobby Day coming up in April, the more the merrier. So, what is Lobby Day? I'll tell you real quick, and we'll grab these callers. Lobby Day is when, because you can lobby any day of the year pretty much, right?
Mhm.
Well, you have Congress that's in session. But here's what I am learning that we do in the chamber. Larry actually goes down there and has meetings with
Mhm.
the head individuals of each agency, and he brings a group of people. When I say group, it's a large group. We go by the bus loads with an S, and we
Amen.
sit in on those meetings with our questions, and our chairman of that particular um, committee speaks to those agency heads with our concerns and questions. Now, it's not a can I say it on I can say it's not a bitch session, right? Yeah, I can say that one time.
You could say that.
Yeah, it's not that. I said it once. I only get once per weekend. But it is a opportunity to talk to those that really have to give you an answer at that moment. And most of the time when we're there, there's a little sweat going on.
Mm.
Okay. They're painted into not a corner because that's not why we're there, but we're not nice about it. We're just professional about it. You have to be intentional about it. And then we give them a score as we come back on how they handled it. And we give them a 6-month score 6 months later. So in order to join that fight, we do employ you to join the chamber. And that's at ilbcc.org. Let's go ahead and grab Natasha. Hey, Natasha. Natasha, you're live.
Oh,
There she
There
is.
she
I
is.
have a question
Good
for
morning.
Dr. Ericka. Good morning. I am a realtor that runs a team. I'm a consultant for small businesses, and I wanted to know, you all were talking about invoicing, and I have a little accounting background, but for as me being a realtor to put my business in a better perspective in 2026 and to help my clients with their businesses, what would be a good process? Like, we all know how to run our businesses, but we don't run them properly and make it easier. I'm kind of looking for more resources this year to work smarter, not harder, as I branch out into other businesses. I just got a non-for-profit as well. So I kind of
Hey,
need smarter resources.
congratulations.
Thank you. I need smarter resources this year. And I definitely I'm the type of person that wants to know what I'm doing, but I want to make sure that I'm doing them right for once.
Good question.
Well, Latasha, thanks for being transparent, first of all, because most people aren't doing it and we just don't want to face it. We don't know what we don't know. I think the best thing you can do is definitely take a look at this process that we've created with the Illinois State Black Chamber, but you got to know your numbers. But like Lorenzo was talking about being a massage therapist and all of the clinical things that he does, you did say massage something, right, Lorenzo?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, you did.
but
Uh-huh.
Yep.
you're not going to have Lorenzo go in his profession. He's the amazing, but do you go to him for uh your heart problems? No, that doesn't mean that what he is not doing is great, but you got to let somebody else specialize in the other stuff. I say that to say, let somebody take care of the numbers for you. And it doesn't have to be expensive. Thankfully, Dr. Larry thinks about those things when we talked about what that looks like for the small business. So you got to let somebody take care of that. But who in the world has access to a CPA for $100 a month? Where they do that at?
Mm.
I
So
have never
you
heard
got
of
to
it
let
actually.
you got to let somebody take care of that. But more importantly, you have to focus, and then you focus on the things that are important to you. We also bring the training and the resources. So people who don't know those things, or nobody knows everything. I don't know everything, but we're going to bring all of those things to you with the Illinois State Black Chamber into one place. So you got to find whether it's Black Zenith, whether it's first of all, definitely join the chamber, but they will provide you the resources. But you got to get a team. Nobody goes along a long way on their own. So you got to get a
I have
team.
to agree today. I'm blown away by you all. As a realtor, chambers are really important, especially in the areas we work in. I don't know if I've been told about it before, but this is the first time I have heard about a chamber for us or by us.
Mm,
I mean, I'm in Orland, I'm in Plainfield, I'm in Jolie, I'm everywhere, but probably where I need to be.
mm.
And so I heard about it this morning.
Well, now you're where you need to be with
Get
us.
baby, get in the room.
Right.
So,
That's right.
And I need to
Natasha,
get my clients with you all as well.
yes, Natasha. And you know what? Membership has its benefits with the chamber. If
Absolutely.
you go to ilbcc.org, I'll say it again, ilbcc.org, you'll see where it says join. And I just put it in the chat. If you're on Facebook and YouTube watching us, you'll see in the comments it says go to ilbcc.org to join the chamber and join the fight.
And
Natasha, was your
LaDonna,
I will
question
be there
answered?
today. Yes, it,
LaDonna, let
it
me.
definitely was. I'm definitely going to follow up with Dr. Ericka. I've heard of Black Zenith before. A little familiar with some events that they've thrown. Again, like she said,
Fantastic.
you just don't know what you know, and sometimes we're scared to speak out. But 2026 is about peace and speaking out, and building my legacy for my
Mhm.
daughter. So
Mm.
I'm going to try to be as present as I can. So
Dr.
I
Blake,
thank you all.
Beautiful.
no problem.
I was
Dr.
just going
Blakely,
to
did
say,
you have
let's talk
something?
about what the chamber does for realtors. No, Natasha talks about that, like the access to the capital, the financial education, um, understanding what procurement and policy looks like, how that affects your business on the corporate, municipal, all of those opportunities, networking that can convert deals. And then realtors always think about, selling houses, but what about construction and development connections? What about
That's right.
those things? Banking and finance committee support, and then just strategy and education. So the Black Chamber, I think people have to realize that all areas of anything that we do are multifaceted. You can specialize in one, but the broader your reach is, the broader your bank account becomes.
Absolutely. And we
Hmm.
like broader reach and
Yes.
especially with
Broader,
the bank account,
And
right?
right,
right?
right. And I know you asked the question, LaDonna. You said, what can we do moving forward with Dr. King's legacy?
Mhm.
And that is one of the things that we can do moving forward is finding these organizations like the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce and supporting and joining these organizations where we can come together as a collective
Hmm.
Mhm.
moving forward.
I love that. Because
Mhm.
many hands like loads. I went to the Interfaith Breakfast yesterday.
Mhm.
It was the 40th Interfaith Breakfast for the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. And of course, Congressman Jonathan Jackson was there. All the Jacksons were there.
Hmm.
I told someone all the Jacksons are here, and they're like, Michael? No, come on, I'm just joking. But there was a special tribute to Jacqueline, or should I say Mrs. Jacqueline L. Jackson, who is the Reverend Jesse L. Jackson Sr.'s wife. And she spoke so eloquently. She said how he told her, do not go off script. So you know what she said, Dr. Erica?
What she say,
I
girl?
already told Lorenzo. She said, I left my script at home. So she was completely off script, but she was completely genuine and organic. Also,
Mhm.
let's not leave out that Kamala Harris was there. She spoke about what we need to do moving forward. She pointed out all the
Mhm.
things that are going on in our Black culture and community and business. And of course, Mayor Brandon Johnson spoke as well, and so many others. But I saw Congressman Danny Davis there. And I gave him a hug. I took a picture with him because he's retiring. And I always take a picture with
Mhm.
him 'cause I think he's so sweet. But the one thing that Lorenzo just touched on was us getting behind people as a collective. Are we behind these candidates that are running because midterms are coming up? Are we behind them as a collective? Now, I don't want to go political, but not only are we behind them, are we behind these businesses as a collective? Are
Mhm.
we behind each other as a collective? Because we have the money, $1.7 trillion a year. We got the money, right?
Mhm.
So the next time you tell somebody I ain't got it, it's because you gave it to somebody so that you can
Mm.
fulfill their mission. It's
Right.
because you went to work all those hours and got all that money and gave it away. All right. So I just wanted to point that out. We have another call.
LaDonna, okay, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. What you want to say before I get to
I
art?
was just gonna say along those lines, if we combine that black dollar, the power is not just in the dollar, it's in the combination and the coordination of it.
That's what I'm
That's where
talking
our
about.
power is at. That's where it's at.
Exactly. All right, let's grab Art. Art, you're live. Welcome to the Wake Up Show. What you got for us?
Hey, good morning to you young people. For me, when I consistently, I'm 57 and we do all this Dr. King this and Dr. King that. For me, I am worn out. I don't want to hear the speeches. I don't want to hear none of those things. The question is for me, where's the plan? Where's the ABC 1, 2, 3 plan? We always get together and everybody do the celebration. And the people really that need to be there is not in the room. That's the Pookie and the Ray Ray and those young men and women who may be disenfranchised and trying to find their way. They's the ones, those people should have gave up their seats so they can maybe experience talking to someone who has achieved a certain amount of success and really share the work and what's necessary. So I think we do too much celebrating. And
Well,
I don't. Yes, sir.
well, let me ask you this, Art. Don't you think the plan was in many of his speeches, and the message was in many of his speeches? I don't think I believe that the plan was there in his speeches. The plan just was not implemented
And executed.
and executed.
Mhm.
Plan is there. If
Well,
you go back and listen to some of the speeches, the plan is there in the speeches.
Right.
I think
Education
that,
without implementation.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think many of our quote unquote lack of a better word leaders have always been able to articulate uh, and express these things. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is how they were not able to execute them because most of us, not all of us, are stuck in looking for a leader. So when a leader
Well,
goes, everybody just mauls over his or her speeches. Like I use Kamala Harris. Okay, you didn't win, but what are you doing now? Why isn't Barack Obama and Michelle Obama going to every high school in the city of Chicago and giving mentorship? Why are they not doing that?
well, yeah,
I mean,
I hear you,
I
Art.
mean,
But
are you too good? I'm gonna
yeah,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
hang it because you're gonna have to say, are you
Okay.
too good? Is it you too high up? You always said you got so many things. They trying to live their lives. To me, when you position yourself to be in power, you want people to respect you, have an even higher and greater responsibility to give time. Those men and women who are there do not give the time to our community. They
Did
are,
you say, was it
when it
Walt?
comes up, Huh?
What was your name again, sir? I'm sorry.
It's art.
Art.
All right. All right.
They
Let me
don't.
ask you a quick
Yes, ma'am.
question. All right. I'm sorry to interrupt, but tell me, when we're talking about what these other people are doing, tell me what you've done.
Well, I have been working in the Inglewood community on the south side and west side, and I hire my general home remodeling contractor. I take men and women and young people, and with a disenfranchised with drugs and alcohol, put them on my back, pay them, and try to teach and train them, and in the same token, give them value system by showing them how you should conduct yourself as a man, getting up on time, going to work, and teaching them a trade. That's what
So
I do.
I
Use
love
my
that. You're
own money.
making an impact
My
in
own money.
Inglewood. I love it. You're making an
No, not
impact
just
in
Inglewood.
Inglewood.
I live on the south side, so that's
Okay.
everywhere. South side, west side, doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's not no
Okay.
individual place. It doesn't matter. So I've been doing that for, my son is 35 years of age. I've been doing that for over 40 years. No grants. Nobody give me money. I use my own resources. That means when I get a job, I'm paying people who don't know. I'm paying out of my pocket so you can learn. That's what happens. See, that's real commitment.
Yeah.
You see, and I end with this. Our leaders gave their lives.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to give time and money. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to give, they don't have to do that. Just open the gate. Time and money. If we get time and money, that's what we got to give up, and we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
We
Art, I
refuse
love
to do
that.
that. That's why
Thank
you
you
don't
for
see
that.
that. Yes.
Thanks.
All right.
You
Well,
know,
God bless. Focus on the black family.
All right,
yeah.
for sure.
Thanks, Art. We appreciate it. I think
Dr. Eric, I was going to say that, even though he mentioned that those leaders don't do the school to school, I know recently President Barack Obama visited Leo High School.
Yeah.
And when we have constantly mentioned, even throughout the week, that there's more to do, there's more people that can get involved, and that has not happened. But that's not all that needs to
it,
happen. What do we
it,
lead with today? There's so
I
much
think
to do.
that one of the things that for me, when I asked Art what he was done, because Galatians 6:4 and 5 teaches us that every person has to examine their own work rather than comparing to ourselves. It
Mm,
takes all of us, not just one of us.
right.
And it's not about our leaders. Our Bible reminds us we don't really have the power to lead ourselves, but it's everybody. We need each other. So it can't be on the Obamas. It can't be, we can't sit and look at what they're doing and what they should or should not be doing. What are we doing? Let's start it ourselves.
All right. Well, let's go
Yes.
to Karen. Hey, Karen, you're live.
Hello, babe. Good morning, you all.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, Miss Karen.
Everything Art said was on point. Matter of fact, Art does a lot of work for me. And I met him, hearing him over the airwaves when he was saying codes of conduct, which sent me to get out and get posters. I had over 300 posters created for a code of conduct. And as we cleaned up, I asked to put them in stores so that we would have a code of conduct in our community as far as quit throwing trash on the ground, call your representative when you don't have a garbage can. So, yes, I understand everything that he's saying, because you said, what do we continue to believe in King? Well, King had a dream, and he was manifesting his dream. What are our dreams? Just like we just talked about Obama, and, they come around when they want to push something. The greatest thing, another thing you all spoke highly of is when you told Latasha, get involved with somebody who's an expert at what they do. But when you're in business, when you become a real business man or woman, you learn every avenue of your businesses. And what you do, you go pick another business that can critique what you do. And so therefore, when they're not doing it right, you can let them know when they're not doing it right, because you know. So what would I say we need to do to follow King? Learn who we are. We've been taught to honor people. Listen to me very well. We've been taught to honor people that really don't deserve our honor, because honor means to weigh. And if we just know one side of a person and we're continuing to honor those that really don't deserve honor, we will continue to be stuck. Stevie Wonder said, if we continue to believe in things that we don't understand, then we suffer. It is time for all of us to get busy, and not just those who are the elite or the boule. And like he said, that event yesterday, MK event, it should have been tons of elders and tons of youth there, not just celebrity people taking pictures and thinking they all that in a bag of chips.
Absolutely.
Thank you, and have a great day. Keep doing it, Art.
Thank you, Karen.
Thanks, Karen. Thank you. We got a bank of callers, guys. Let's try to get through them popcorn style real quick. Hey, Mike M., welcome to the show. What you got for us?
Yes, I appreciate the callers and very much appreciate what you and the Illinois
State
business
Black Chamber,
doing.
Illinois
Yeah,
State Black
chambers
Chamber
doing.
of Commerce.
Right, because last year was my first year of real exposure to you guys. I came to your convention, and I'm not in business and so on. I'm just an observer and interested. And I thought it was a very wonderful thing and a great thing that your leader, as well as you and his wife, is doing, because she was a big help in me getting in. And this is what I have for you. You mentioned about furthering what Dr. King was saying. What would we say about that? You know, there are many other organizations out there in the world that you can look at, and they have a summit. What about there being a ebony economic summit? Like you talk about that $1.9 trillion. How do we best utilize and spend that $1.9 trillion year by year? And it can be an annual summit as well as a semi-annual summit. I saw something on YouTube that showed a young man that started a business and he didn't have any money. And the guy said, "Well, how do you start a business and you don't have any money?" You know, and it was a business where he was renting washing machines. He got the customers, got the order first, then he went out and got the machines and then rented it to them.
Mm-hmm.
So that was that kind of amazing, eye-opening and so on. So this guy was 23 years old.
That
And
makes
then
sense.
he got his business up to where he's making $10,000 a month.
Wow.
So let us get together. We're all talking about, well, we got to get together, got to have meetings. Yeah, well, let us get together and have a strategy about how we go forth with this $1.9 trillion and make it an annual and semi-annual. And I'm going to leave you with this. We talk about the Jewish people. The Jewish people, the real regular ones, they would meet every Friday night and have dinner. And this one young man, he says he was dating this Indian girl. His mother told him, well, bring her on anyway. We're talking about now and the future. If she's going to be in the family, she needs to know. So, hey, we need to come together as the Ebony group and have our meeting annually and semi-annually about what we're going to be doing.
Shoot, sound like we need one weekly. Thank you so much for your call. We need to get together every week. Sunday dinner. In fact, that's what Sunday dinner used to be. Yeah, you got together, but you talked about things. We got some more callers in the before we get to them. Dr. Ericka, did you want to slide in real quick?
No, I think one of the things I just want to say is that we have to focus on what we've learned, and let's, instead of asking what's missing or who failed us, let's talk about what's in our control right now. What can we do to move the agenda?
Yes. Absolutely. All right, let's go to Janice. Hey, Janice, you're live.
How you doing? I worked with several Jews, and I found one thing about them. They worked together, but they didn't worship another Jew. You were taught that you were supposed to do right by the Jewish community. And I want to look at Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff was dying in jail, but I bet you Trump didn't let him out. You don't play with them and their money, and you don't play with them and their children. We've lost 4 or 5 generations of children with leadership, and we praise these people, and we know those schools were no good when our children went there. And my friend asked me, did I know about affirmative action? I told him no. He said you weren't meant to know. He didn't know either. But we went back to school, got math up, and did it on our own. The blacks who I respected was Mr. Teller. I used to work with him. They wanted to get these 2 black men to fight against each other. Mr. Teller said, I already got a job. Mr. Rowe needed it more than I do. And when Mr. Rowe left, Mr. Teller left. There was a lady I worked with CETA. She was paying her daughter $4.20 an hour, and I was making $2.10. Miss Kemp and Mr. Gosh, I can't think his last name now. They went and told her, this is not right because we could hire more children from the community. Both of them lost their job. Miss Kemp almost lost her home. If it hadn't been for her son joining the military, she would have. Those are my heroes. It's not the Jesse Jacksons and all of them. It's the blacks who put everything on the line and lost, but they were helping us. But study the Jews. If you're going to study the Jews, When they say never again, they mean it. And when you cross him and you're a Jew, you cross him and you're a Jew. I look at all our people marching for these illegals. Where were they marching when that little boy was being jumped on every day? When I was jumped on, nobody came out of their house, and I'm a senior now, and it's still going on. We've got to, Malcolm said, how can I clean up your house if mine is dirty? We need to get the black community clean. And Art, everything you're saying is true. I learned from black people who didn't have a formal education, but they had something money couldn't buy, morals and respect. And when I needed help in school, the black teachers were always busy working on another grant. I asked this white lady, I knew she wasn't going to help me. We became friends until the day she died. Every Christmas, she got flowers from me. And she told me, you don't have to do this for me. I said, many people turned their backs on me, but you didn't.
Thank you, thank you, Miss Janice. We got to get to the rest of these calls. Let's go ahead and go to JT. Good morning, JT.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, doing swell. Be real quick because we only have a few minutes left.
Well, I got a question. Can you break down what a community code of conduct is?
Well, let me say this. That's what we're talking about. We want to know what the community code of conduct is, because there's nothing solid on that. We haven't even had a chance to come together to figure out what our community code of conduct would look like. And I'm gonna expand on that a little bit before we end, but we're trying to establish that by having these conversations.
Wouldn't that be considered common sense?
It would be considered common sense. That's a start.
Well, we have because that comes up quite a bit. Art has called in. Art is just a celebrity today, but he has stated that when you pull up to a community, you can tell the community code of conduct that's in place.
Mm-hmm.
If everyone's cutting their grass, everyone's sweeping their porches, you got not people hanging on the street corners and things of that nature. That is the community code of conduct. But if you go to a community where it's the total opposite, that's their community code of conduct. So if you want to reestablish a community code of conduct, community doesn't have to be your neighborhood. Community can be the community of businesses, the community of people that you are hanging around, the community of your family. You can establish that, reestablish it, retool it, and make it what it needs to be in order to move the mission forward. So that's the community code of conduct, in my opinion. Dr. Blakely?
When people see movement, and then hope follows that. Like, we can honor the frustration without living in that. So that's what we want to really focus on. Responsibility turns that frustration into progress, and then ownership begins where the blame ends.
Yeah. Thanks, JT.
Yeah. Thanks, JT. We appreciate it. I totally agree with everything Art was saying. Now, one thing that I do believe that has to happen moving forward, yes, we do have to have and continue these discussions, and definitely start having a meeting where we discuss these issues. But those meetings have to be done not on the radio, not in public, but in private. And I always say this, I said, we have so many discussions over the radio of what we need to do and what we're going to do. But it's almost like if you're playing a sport, you giving your game plan to the opposing team. See, we forget. It's like I know I read a passage in the Bible where God says pray in private. And sometimes we pray out loud, and the devil is listening to your prayers.
I see Carol Carter made a comment. I put it on Facebook. It says, I don't see many black people protesting ICE. Look, okay. I just wanted to put her comment out there. And
she's not wrong.
She's not wrong. But sometimes, fights are meant to be fought by those that are
people that are in it.
Exactly. Because we will jump in, but we got to tighten up first. But Dr. Ericka Blakely, I know that you are our honored guest today. And Larry made sure that we were covering all bases of today's topic. Number one, those 12 committees that I mentioned earlier: banking and finance, construction, healthcare, IT, media, youth and entrepreneurship, international, sports and entertainment, retail, membership, procurement, and policy and marketing. I want to ask all of you, by the sound of my voice, if any of those struck a nerve for you, meaning, oh my God, that's me. Go to ilbcc.org and hit join. you can also email info@ilbcc.org. And those of you that called, specifically Janice and a few other callers, email me because I want to see where we can further this conversation in a podcast. And that would be ladonna@wvon.com. Dr. Blakely, I want to give you the floor to close out, and then Lorenzo and I will close.
Yeah, I think if we want to move Dr. King's vision forward, it happens not through one speech, not through one leader, but through people plugging into the systems that are designed to build the ownership, the access that we require, that we want. So those are the things that we have to do. The committees that we talked about that you just mentioned, that's where the access turns into action. And then that action turns into ownership. So that's how we do that. We have to start someplace, but we have to come together. Like Lorenzo said, we need a place that's just for us so that we can go in private and figure out what that looks like.
Yeah.
And build those things and start to take advantage of that.
You may even have to unplug your Alexa device
Listen.
when you have these meetings, okay?
Baby, listen.
All right. Well, guys, we only have a couple of minutes. Lorenzo, thank you so much for coming on board and guest hosting or even co-hosting with us.
Yes.
And Dr. Ericka Blakely, I want to thank you from myself and the chamber for coming on and giving us such a layout of landscape on what to do. And those of you that are listening, you got to get your finances and your receipts together. Okay. But where can they call you to get those things together real quick?
BlackZenithHub.org. You'll find information about the space, but you'll also find that link that'll give you an idea of what we've partnered with the Illinois State Black Chamber to do. That link is there. You can reach us at 855-483-1945. And you can you can email at info@blackzenithhub.org as well. All
right. Lorenzo?
Hey, look, I have to go with one of I think it was the caller, I think Karen, that stated that, she said something, knowing what you're doing and why you're doing it. That's one of the things that we need to do. Know what you're doing and why you're doing it moving forward.
I love it. All right, guys, we're out of here. The Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, ilbcc.org, sponsored by the Wind Creek Chicago Southland in Homewood. We want you to go join us for Lobby Day. So we want you to register as a member if you go to ilbcc.org, because that's coming up in April. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you look for Wake Up Show Chicago, you will find it, and subscribe to the channel. Like us on Facebook. And we'll be back. I'll be back Monday on the afternoon show, guys. Make sure you tune in from 3 to 6. Oh, and we'll be at the DuSable Museum for the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. That's going to be me and Atiba. That's it. See you next time. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye now.
Wake Up Show every Saturday morning at 9, where change begins with every sunrise. Welcome to the Wake Up Show Chicago.
Are we offline?
That's the end?
And know that everything that you're doing, and if you put the integrity in what you're doing at that moment,